Hello used car buyers, used car owners. I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's enjoying the time with their family at home. Please stay at home. This is a very serious situation. But I am here because I want to give you again some useful information, step-by-step guides about maintaining your car on your driveway. And my last video was about preventing to fail a few parts, sensitive parts on the car when you leave it there for a longer period of time and you don't use it. You don't turn on the engine, you don't close or open the windows. So these are the sensitive parts. One of our followers is mentioning the diesel cars, especially the DPF, the diesel particle filter, and he said that it's not really a good idea to run your car on the driveway for more than 10 minutes because the DPF could get blocked because there is no exhaust gas coming out of the engine, and it could block the DPF. I wouldn't say exactly that would happen. Obviously, you have to do it many times to block your DPF, but it was a good point. So for that reason, I've decided to create a very short video, but it's a step-by-step guide how you can regenerate or clean your DPF. And if you do this in a regular basis, let's say every month just once, then it can help you to save hell of a lots of money. You're not gonna have problem with your car because the DPF doesn't get blocked. I used to work as a car mechanic. I've seen very serious results from this. They are not very expensive, but they are absolutely high quality. One of the best I like to use, this is the Protect DPF cleaner, but I have to admit I'm quite satisfied with the Winnies as well. So that's the first thing you should buy, you should order. I'm going to include the link below the video so you can find the Protect where to buy it. That's one of the first thing I would suggest you to do. Second one, we need about 10-15 liter fuel in our car's tank, not more than that, because these cleaners works in a better way if you don't put it in 50-60 liter. You don't need that. It's not gonna cause any problem at all. So you need about 10-15 liter fuel. Make sure, like my one, for example, look. I have about 10 liter, which is absolutely perfect. I would like to explain to you why the third step, I believe it's important. You're going to drive your car for 15-20 miles in a way where the RPM is gonna be above 3000 RPM. So make sure in any gear you're driving your car around or you're going somewhere, in any gear the RPM is above 3000. That's the reason we have to do the third step. So I'm gonna show it to you now. Because of the high RPM, we want to prevent the engine failure, and that's depend on two things. One of them is the coolant. We have to make sure the coolant has a proper level, which is between the minimum and the maximum. If there is no water or coolant in the system, your engine gonna blow up. The second one, we have to make sure we have oil in the engine, because if you have less oil in the engine, your engine's gonna fail. You're going to drive your car for about 15-20 miles on over 3000 RPM. So I'm going to show you how to check the oil level. As you can see, I have gloves and some hand towels. So let's see if we have enough oil in this engine. So the first thing I do always pull out the dipstick and clean it off. Don't try to check how much oil there is in the engine. Just clean it off first. You push it back in, wait a few minutes, a few seconds. you pull it out again. Make sure you hold it with vertical position. So don't play around it because the oil can drip back. And we have, as you can see, a minimum and maximum signs on it. And because you cleaned it properly, you can see the level somewhere in the middle. So we have enough oil in it, but I always check it twice because we never know. So let's do it again. I've cleaned it, I put it out, and now you can see it is just below in the middle. So which I would say it's acceptable. So guys, we checked the two parts, very important parts of the engine. We have coolant, we have oil. Now we're ready to start the car and drive for 15-20 minutes in any speed, at any speed, in a gear where the RPM is about 3,500. Okay, so let's go. So I jumped into my other car, which is automatic, because I wanted to show you how to do this properly with an automatic car. Obviously it's very easy with the manual one. First of all, because I haven't started my car, as you can see, the engine is still cold. So one important information, make sure you do this process and keep the RPM above 3000 when the engine reached the operating temperature. So make sure it's hot so you can start it and you can leave it on your driveway where you have a chance, no one's gonna steal it, and then when it reaches the operating temperature, then you can start this process. With an automatic, you make sure that, see, there is the manual there, so you pull it out, it says S1, and then M1, which is manual, and then you can start to drive it. As you can see, if you pull it back, then you change to the higher gear, as you can see. So you're driving until the engine reaches the operating temperature, and then you start to drive at any speed and the specific gear which keeps the RPM above 3000. I haven't used my car this week, so I've decided to go to the store to buy some food, only necessities, and honestly I've run out of cinnamon, which is one of my favorite, and I don't know whether you know that, but it's one of the best immune system boosting ingredient. So I'm gonna buy some, and obviously I need some vegetables, so I'm waiting to get the operating temperature on my car, and then I'm going to show you again during the drive. So as you can see, we have reached the operating temperature, the engine is okay, and from now on I'm going to drive above 3000 RPM. I'm going to drive around 15-20 miles. Even if it's 10, it still helps, believe me. It's gonna mean a lot to the DPF. And don't forget to check the mirror. You might see some smokes coming out. Don't be surprised. That's the reason we want to do it, because we want to clear out the DPF. So don't be scared of it. Obviously keep your eyes on the gauge. If the temperature goes up, make sure you slow down and you check whether there is enough coolant in the system, and make sure your engine is not going to fail. Guys, I'm gonna be in touch when I got home. Drive safe. For safety reason, obviously I'm not recording while I'm driving, but as you can see on the photos, at any speed I'm trying to keep the RPM over 3000. So that's the important. So guys, I'll be at home in a few minutes. I have driven about 15 minutes, not 15 miles, where the RPM was over 3,000. I've done what I could. I believe it really meant a lot to the DPF. I was watching my mirror to see whether any smoke coming out of it, but nothing, thankfully. And I wanted to ask you guys, if you have any different ideas, please share with the group, because it could be including very important information. This is how I do it, how I maintain it, so I can save money on repairs. Especially, don't forget, especially if you use your car mostly in a city or town, then especially recommended to do this simple process. Guys, thank you again for watching. Drive safe, take care of yourself, stay home, and be safe. Bye.